Hello. It's Tuesday. I know y'all are used to seeing us on Thursday, but my brilliant sales team, Sonia Terry and Krista Estes, have decided that we need to do Transformation Tuesday once a month. And I am in agreement. Tell the audience, Sonia, how did Transformation Tuesday, in your mind, how did that get born? Because this is kind of your brainchild here, yours and Krista's.
Yeah, I think it's just talking to customers. Like we're doing our sales calls, and in this crazy time, like calling them and talking to them, the past clients about like what did you learn from Trainertainment? What have you done? And I think just hearing how it um, how it changed their business and their
Uh-huh.
thought process and how they've used the things that they've learned and how they're just ongoing and that oh yeah, we still do this from Trainertainment
Yeah,
10 years ago when we did it. And so it really helped me to understand like how that is transformed what they do today. I guess I don't know,
that's
it
great.
was a
Yeah,
great feeling.
I know. Well, I know both of you came from much more of a training background, but you both had such a wonderful aptitude for sales that who knew in the beginning of this year that the year would flip over on its head. And so we've had an opportunity to practice and to try different things. And one of the things that's so relevant is that we don't sell widgets. We don't sell something that somebody can walk in with their mask on and buy and take home. What we sell is, I love the fact that you use the word transform, and we do have our clients who continue to use the processes, because we've always from day one, our intention was to teach people to fish. And if they need a coaching, a fish coach, we want to be that one, right? But it thrills me, and I know it's been fun for you all. Like, Krista, what's your reaction when you get a hold of somebody who knows Trainertainment, and there's a bunch of them out there, right? What's the normal reaction?
When someone says that they know us, usually they say, "Oh, I've known Beth for years." Usually they'll say that, or then they'll see my last name and they'll ask me, "Oh, who's your dad?" And I'll say, "Yes, that's my dad." And then like, "Thank you when you're little," and yes, yes, when I was 9, like that kind of thing.
I'm grown up now. Yes.
Right? Yeah, I'm grown up now. But normally it's, "Oh, we love Trainertainment. We love Beth, and we've known her for years. And we love what you guys do." And so that makes me excited. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Yes, that's great. How can we help you next?" And
How
so
can we
in a
help
time like
next?
this,
That's
that's all
right.
we want to do is just help them.
That's right.
We just want to help
That's right. This has been a time of relentless encouragement for us to our customers, for us to each other. And one of the things that we talk about a lot internally is about, what does coaching look like, and what is it that we do. And I recently published a blog. I think you can go to our website and you can get the blog. We made kind of a chaotic infographic. We're going to really make that cooler as it comes on, but every time I have an idea, I need it done right now, right? So we can make it better. But it's interesting because the way I see it is that there's education, and education can come in all forms. Um, we can read. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. There are lots of ways to get education, and you can get education from somebody else, or you can self-educate, but there's a real low level of risk, which in my mind is interpreted into a low level of accountability. Like, what do I do with this education? Because there's lots of good consumers of education. Krista, how do you love to educate yourself? What do you do to get more information?
I'm a reader, and I wasn't when I was in college. I love to read. I like to have paper in my hands, and
Oh,
so I even like book clubs too. I think that raises your level of accountability because now
oh,
you're
because you're
coming
doing
to
it
a
with
group.
somebody. Well, you move to engagement. That's an
Yeah,
engagement piece.
yeah.
That's the next step.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that raises it. But I'm a kinesthetic learner. I like to hear it, see it, touch it. I like to do all of them. So
Okay.
auditory, visual, kinesthetic. But yeah, so I really like reading though. Is really how I feed my brain. You got to feed your brain.
Got it. Got it. How about you, Sonia?
I'm more of a podcast kind of person. I like to listen to it. So then whenever I get to that pondering moment, I can stop it, rewind it again, and listen again. So
Yes.
hearing it in somebody else's voice too. So I definitely like to for people to talk to me about it instead of reading.
Uh-huh. That's aural, Aural. That's a new word for me. I always just thought audio, but there's a more sophisticated word for it, aural. And I listen to tons of books. Uh, I've jumped off the treadmill and I'll make notes in my Evernote because I don't want to lose it. Now, I'm like you too, Krista. I do love to write stuff down because the minute I've written it down, I own it. It's like somehow it transfers from my fingers into my head or my heart or somewhere where I can maybe recall it and use it again. So that's a process of engagement. I mean, of education. And like I said, low level of risk, low level of accountability. Like, do I do something with it? I hate it when somebody says, have you read such and such? And I know I have, but I can't recall one thing. But, so to me, in our company, people can get education through, um, they can, the PCQPC online course. Now, that's a little different in that you feel a little bit engaged with me, although it's kind of still one way. But it's an independent learning piece. We have books and manuals. Like those are all education. Usually low cost entry point. Express training is a good. God, there's probably. What do you think? 300, 500. I mean, there's like a bazillion pieces of information and education out on express training. Um, but then you go to that middle section and it's engagement. So I do think your book club takes you to the next level because you have some accountability for having read the material. So this is where teachers and trainers and even coaches can be here. I like to reserve coach for the transformation level, but somebody needs to do the teaching. So maybe teacher trainer in that engagement level. So Krista, how do you like to engage when you're having that shared experiential learning kind of thing?
Well, being from a training background, my favorite thing, I love being in person. And so actually I'm going to an event this weekend with my Arbonne team. And so we're going to all be together and of course,
Yeah.
socially distant physically, but in the
Yep.
same room. But anyway, but love just being around seeing people who think like you. And we will have trainers. I'll be a trainer, we'll have other people training, there.
Yes.
And so we'll be able to take what we can and run with it. Mm-hmm.
Why do you think in that engagement, and I do think engagement, it's not only just a higher level of accountability, but like just that interactive experiential piece, even in this setting, right? Even in a virtual setting, how does that ramp up, or does it? Does it ramp up the learning? Does it ramp up accountability? Is it riskier?
I mean, you're seeing someone's face. I think that makes a big difference. And then when you're physically there, you're feeling, I feel like you're feeling their energy. I always feel like I have a fire in my belly, like after I've like been in a retreat like
Yeah,
this, like I don't know what is, I'm gonna do it,
yeah.
like way outside of my comfort
Like you
zone.
feed,
And
like you
that's what I think.
feed on. Yeah, you
Yeah.
feed on that. What about you, Sonia? I mean, I know you did a lot of training in your day, and was there a difference between like creating a checklist? Because I know managers struggle with this. We're like, God, I told them what to do. I emailed them that checklist. I sent them that PDF.
I think
But
for me in the training part of it, like Krista said, that face to face, but I think you can, like, I know for myself, it was always important for my team, like the head, like the GM always had to do like the first initial training for frontline workers. Like because you could share your experiences, your passion. Like if you get people hooked in that first moment of that, of like what you're going to be training them and that interaction back and forth, and you involve them, you're asking them questions and really helping them to understand why you're doing it. It's not just we need you to go stand in front of the counter and smile at people. Like
Uh-huh.
you're giving it, you're selling experiences, you're
Uh-huh.
selling whatever that is. If you have that passion that and you can help them to kind of see that, like that's always part of what I loved about the training piece of it. But sharing your experiences, I think, is a huge one, because I know for myself, like when I became a trainer, like I had to do training in my center, so I was a facilitator per se out of a book, and my boss kept saying, oh, hey, you gotta. She was trying to teach me how to be a trainer and how to, but all of a sudden it like clicked when I started seeing, like, she would tell me her experiences around this, and then
Uh-huh.
it made me feel like that has happened to me, like the way she did it. And so I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to recreate that wheel every single time. Like I have 10 different things around that circle now. Really only one of them happened to me, but now I understand that. And so I loved sharing those experiences with people of things that have happened to help them kind of work. You could see their wheels start turning and processing.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense how to handle that customer when they did that, versus just something that's on a checklist. The customer was mad. What do you do? Like
Right.
it
Right.
really helped them to understand that. So
Yeah, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in reading somebody else's story and actually experiencing the story. That's how come I think engagement. I think there's a lot of good things that can happen in mental practice that is not real practice, but I think engagement is about practice. I know in our sales coaching program, one of the things that we always try to do with the salespeople we're working with is give them the opportunity to role play and to engage in a safe space. Because can you imagine if the only place you ever practice the sales process is when you're trying it out on a customer? That's pretty hard. And then you have to retool, and I do it all the time. We talk about it all the time about doing the like a debrief and breaking down the call and stuff like that. Well, so that's the engagement part, but then you're out in the real game. Like the player, the student, the team member has to really go out and do that thing they learned, because talk is cheap, right? And to me that's what we sell at Trainertainment, is not just the education, not just engagement, but what we intend to sell. I mean, and you can have just those pieces if you want, but the real meat and potatoes happens in transformation. Because here's what happens when Sonia, when you go make a sales call, or Krista, when you go make a sales call, you guys are taking all the education that you've gotten, you're taking every bit of any experience or practice or debrief that we've tried and worked on, um, and then you go try it, right? And that's where transformation happens. If you never do it, if you never do anything with the learning, there can't be transformation. And I think it's very difficult. I think the people that learn or have the most transformation, and I know it's true for me, so maybe I should just speak about me. Um, I've always had some kind of coach. I played tennis, and I always had a coach. I've been lucky enough in business that I joined a CEO group early on, and had a wonderful mentor who absolutely, God, I don't even know how she kept me on the team, because I could do some of the dumbest things, and do them over and over and over again. And she was patient, because Socrates said the teacher will show up when the student is ready to learn. So if you've not been getting coached, maybe you just weren't ready yet, because
hey,
here's
Beth,
what
can you
hey
tell me what
do
sorry,
what
I was just gonna say, can you tell me the difference, like what do you between a coach and a mentor? Like
yeah. So I don't know that I think there's much. Um, the thing in our business, the thing in our business is the ongoing, consistent, non-negotiable coaching times. Doesn't mean that we're not available other times, but consistency is consistency is one of the most difficult things in the universe. Like we all, it's much more exciting, or certainly for a personality like mine, it's much more exciting to get something started than to kind of keep it going. Because once you, if you're somebody like me, once you get it started, you want to go on and do the next thing and the next thing and solve the next problem and the next. I mean, I think that that's kind of a leadership trait. I don't know if it's necessarily a sales trait, but um, you got to follow through with the sales thing. You're never going to get them closed. But what we notice in transformation, and I don't think I answered that. Is there a difference between coach and mentor? I don't. I think that a great coach winds up being a mentor, whether spoken or not. And I don't. People are so funny with the word mentor because it's like, whoa, they were my mentor. Well, I think we have lots of mentors in our lives, whether it's stated or not. I initially went to work in this industry at a place called Bronco Bow, and Jim Welch was a dear friend of mine. He hired me, and I don't, and I would have always called Jim a friend and not necessarily a mentor, but I know darn well that Jim mentored me in his own way, and he coached me in his own way, and it wasn't a formal thing. So I think that maybe the big difference could be that maybe that a coach may be a more formal thing that I
And
sign up
tangible.
or sign on for, and that if you're lucky, a great coach probably winds up in a mentorship type role. I know, Chrissy, you signed up for an internship
Hmm.
with a lady that you definitely count as a
A
mentor.
mentor. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
do you notice a difference between coach and
Um,
mentor? That's a great
yeah, I
question.
don't know if I do. And I'm thinking about just like the differences. And actually one of the things, like as you were talking, I was like, oh, maybe that's like my aha. You had said something. I wish I had written it down. I was like, oh, because when I worked in my corporate job for the last, it was like the 3 years of it, it was a harder time. My life was different. And my transformation into, hey, I'm going to separate and go into being an entrepreneur, like that kind of piece of it. The whole time I did have, coaches throughout that time, and it was in my Arbonne business, but I look at them as mentors. And
Uh-huh.
and so I think that's what it is. I have someone coaching me, telling me, hey, you can do this. I think that's what a coach is. They're giving you the positive reinforcement. They're holding you
Hmm.
accountable. They're there where you need them to be. And a mentor is kind of, it's guiding you through, maybe it's another level. I don't know.
Maybe. And I think that a mentorship may be in a lot of ways a little bit less formal, maybe more meaningful than a coaching. I know that Nancy, that I would definitely count as my mentor, passed away last year. There were often times where we for sure had a Friday phone call. I have a couple of people in my life that we talk on Saturday mornings, and it's a consistent thing. So I do think that maybe coaching is a little bit more formal. I have this team. And you know what I was saying, transformation, and we wrote about it in the blog, and I would encourage you to go read. I'd love your feedback. But what happens is when you go out and try it, you have a negative result, you have a positive result, or you have something neutral that happens. And what I got to tell you is, even if you're coaching yourself, you have to be able to recognize, was this positive, was this negative, or was this neutral, and what am I going to do about that? And that's where real transformation can happen. And when you have a coach who can help wade through that, maybe the coach knows when to just tell it to you straight. You didn't follow through there, you didn't finish. What will you do next week to do that? And so you got to have somebody you really trust, somebody that you think has the authority to to visit with you like that, right? And somebody who has the know-how to guide you in the right direction. I don't think coaches or mentors have all the answers. I do not think that's what being a coach or a mentor is about. What I think is that they have all the best questions. Because what I know about coaching and about mentorship is that when you can figure it out on your own, then you own it. I would want to shake Nancy sometimes and just I wonder if you had this with Linda, Krista. I would think, just tell me what to do. I'll do
That's what I was
that.
laughing
Yeah,
about because I was
you guys
thinking
deal
about
with
it too,
me
like
that way.
that would
Yeah,
happen. Like,
yeah,
tell
oh,
me.
yeah. But how many of us really want to do what other people tell us to do?
I was just thinking when you were talking about this, that feedback, like a lot of people that for me, that's where the transformation actually, like it really comes to my mind is when I was able, I've gotten a lot of feedback in coaching over the years, but when I was able to actually do that plus plus, it was like, what could I have done differently? How listening to the feedback and actively being able to change and use it and move forward. Like
The next time, yes.
that's where the transformation part, like it clicked with me of like, okay, this is not a personal thing. They're helping me grow there. Like, and I
Yes,
think that it's hard for anybody. I don't care who you are to immediately take something that somebody says and then make a change with it. And I think that
it
that's
is.
what, for me, that coaching process, you kind of got to hear it a couple of different times and
Yes,
maybe a couple of different ways to really help you get
yes. Well,
that.
and you have to be able to hear it, and you have to be willing to do something with it. Sometimes I think when people don't sign up for ongoing coaching services with us, is I do think they're not ready, right? They're not yet ready to make the commitment. And I used to think it was about money. And I know it's hard right now. I mean, we more than ever, um, I carefully calculate in our business. I feel as the business owner, I'm fiscally responsible for the finances, and I want to make the right decisions. The thing I have always done though is to get the tools that I thought we needed. And so I do think that sometimes people just might not be ready to make the commitment. And it's tough because from a sales point of view, shoot, uh, this would be a perfect time. I wrote the book on how to do sales, right? And so uh, it might be one of my superpowers to talk folks into things, but I don't want to talk anybody into anything. I think real transformation happens when somebody said, I need the education. I'm willing to engage and do the work it's going to take. And I'm going to be open to the feedback that comes from a negative, a positive, or a neutral result, right? And I think master coaching, and I think our people have worked so hard on this. And me personally, I know I've grown a ton over the last 6, 7 years. Like I'm really good at what to do when the result is positive. I'm amazing. I am a really good cheerleader. What I had to get good at is what about the negative results and what about the neutral results? Because you can't let either one of those go by. And that's where real leadership shows up. That's where real transformation shows up for you as the coach and for the team player. Talk to me about your coaching. Talk to me about your coaching experiences. You are the two newest team members in this organization, and it's been, I hate to use the word bumpy, but it's been, Candy and I were trying it. We were going through language this morning, and she said it's been an unusual year. And I thought, oh, that's a good one. Oh, and listen, this is September 22nd. In the first day of fall, transformation is coming, guys. We are going to move through. Something's going to happen, right? Something's going to change. So, what's been your experience at Trainertainment with all you've had to get? There's been a ton of education. I know you probably feel like you're still getting it, and gosh, we're still trying to make things right for the consumer today as things are changing. Engagement and your own transformation. Krista, you can go first.
I was talking to Beth about this a couple weeks ago, and I was just thinking about people that are in the sales environment and just how I even in an, people could be like, oh, suck up. And I'm really not. What I'm telling you is that in a situation such as this one, I feel very lucky to be a part of this team where we do have this, all for good, one for all kind of feeling, and where we just want to help one another, and where we are able to work with the person that wrote People Buy From People, and how, we are able to get this coaching where we can, call Beth, and I just feel for anyone who is not in some type of coaching environment.
Yes. In sales,
at all.
especially right now.
Because I don't know how I would get through this without being in a coaching environment. And so that's what my experience has been. I just think it's been great to have that feedback, be able to call Beth or Sonia. Having a partner to work with is amazing because you can bounce things off of, and I've loved it. Even, so I just feel like when going through a time like this, it's like, hey, we're loading our bases and you can handle anything at this point. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Thank you. I was visiting with a wonderful trainer and kind of a new friend during all this time, and we both have that sense. He's a leadership development guy, and we both have that sense. I love how you said we're kind of loading our bases. We started the year with this whole swing for the fences idea, and they hauled off and picked the fence up, didn't move it back. They took it all the way to another city. So okay. We still got those caps. We'll try again in 2021. So what about you, Sonia? You probably had different coaching times in your life as the getting coached in a sales role at Trainertainment. How's the education engagement go do it, the transformation piece? How's that working for you?
I think it is working very well. I love that we are first, the support is there through you, Krista, talking things through. We can pick up the phone anytime and ask you, this is what just happened. What's your suggestion? Or this is what I'm doing. How do you handle it? So the support is amazing. And I do think we're always talking and looking for future. And I think for me right now, that's what's keeping me positive in all of this, is because a lot of customers that I talk to are kind of in a stuck place. They're working out of fear and kind of not sure what next month holds or next week holds. So they're really having a hard time with that future planning piece of it. And it's always been important. And with Trainertainment doing the 3, the 5, the 10-year plan, the 1 year, being able to see a future and being able to bob and weave and go and rechange the way we're, our focus is, those things are keeping me positive to keep working every day, and to know that our customers still need to do that too. And
they more than ever.
Right. They need our support. And I mean, I'm just in phone calls, we're just calling to check in on people right now and really to see is there anything we can help you with, because we want to support them. We want to see them succeed. And I just think that in those conversations, I feel like they're having a hard time with that. And I think it's going to be really important for them to take a step back and say, okay, this is the now normal, or, it's not the old normal, and we don't know what tomorrow holds, but we will eventually get through this like everything else. And where are we going to be on the end of this? And I think that's really, really the important piece that they have to stop and look at. And I think that we are doing that all the time. So it gives me total hope, and know that, those things might change, and we're gonna work with that. I think it's made us more agile, or I don't know.
Oh, that's a great word. Yeah, that's a great word.
We have to look at it in a different way of this. We still have to make this plan. We'll reevaluate our goals and our stuff every week, and I think that's what's been a success with the coaching process for me through Trainertainment. Every week there's a follow up to it. I have a goal still. It changed from what it was. We dropped it. The meaningful conversations have changed what the idea of that means sometimes, but we've are on a weekly basis talking about it, and there's follow-up.
We're transforming. We're paying attention to what happened last week. What can we do different for this week? And I think that's probably true in all times. It's just we're hyper aware of it right now, and all all the things that we've done throughout our tenure as a company with business coaching, with sales coaching, with helping new centers open, with on-site training, even with online learning, all that stuff, all those things that we have done in the past where people, where it was nice to have, to me, it's like you must do this now. I think about past party outreach in sales coaching. We call it PPO, where we call the past parties and we invite them. We want to be the first to wish them happy birthday, or we want to remind them that a year ago or last quarter, not last quarter, but one day, one quarter ago, they had an event with us, and we want to remind them that we're here. We'd like to invite them. We've done the things that need to be done in a safe way, and we're holding a spot for you. Like they've got to do that more than ever before. And if they're not doing it, if they're scared to do it, if they're afraid to do it, well, they need a coach. They need somebody willing to run the play and get them out on the field and let them practice a little bit, and then go try it and come back and let us know what happened. I'm telling you, Sonia and I are going to go to a real live chamber event. And one of the things I'm committed to doing is to find out what they're planning for holiday events and stuff like that. Because I want to understand what the people we coach are facing. Because how can I be a good coach, right? Without understanding what people are going through and living through. And we know it. I think our customer experience with our customers is not much different, because we're trying to schedule events with our customers, and our customers are trying to schedule events with their customers. So anyway, well, I'm excited. We've babbled on forever. I'm so delighted that you all dreamed Transformation Tuesday, and we wanted to get this education, engagement, transformation out here for people. And what we'll show up the third Tuesday of the month, and our goal is that we will bring our own clients, past, present, on Transformation Tuesdays. So at least 12 times during the year, you'll be able to see how that transformation has worked for companies that we have served either in the past or currently. And do we hope that's a sales tactic? You darn betcha we do. We're doing everything we can. We know we don't sell widgets. We sell coaching. And we know that if you hear it from the people who've really gotten it, it'll make a whole lot more sense. Because we love our stuff, right? Right. Last words, Chris, any last brilliant tidbits, thoughts?
I was just thinking about the shift. I know everybody's looking for a shift to happen, and I think it really starts with you. And so you got to go out and you need to seek the shift and then do the shift yourself. And I really, truly believe that you need to surround yourself with people that are going to help you shift.
Yeah.
And that's a coach. And
Yeah.
that's what it's been for me personally. I know each and every one of us, Sonia and Beth, we've had that shift.
Yeah.
And once you have the shift, I mean, it's endless opportunities at that point.
Yeah, it is. It is. We still, even without, I was saying that Nancy passed away last year. Do you think we hold our own quarterlies? No. I have a coach that comes in and holds our own quarterlies and helps guide. Yeah, duh. I wouldn't even think about doing it different. So, Sonia, any last words?
Just exactly what you said. A coaching company has a coach. Like,
Yeah.
everybody needs a coach. You didn't learn how to play kickball when you were in the 5th grade without a coach. Like there's a lot of opportunity for learning and growth, and it'll help you not get bad habits. I think that's one thing I was just thinking, because that follow up and that follow through, you're not having to relearn a bad habit and keep failing from it.
Right. You want to practice the wrong stuff.
Experiences. Yeah. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. And hey, if you're watching Transformation Tuesday, you got the inaugural episode, and we will be back. We'll see you in a month.
Bye. Have a good one.